So, I think we should talk about the survey results for some quick
Do people even
follow-up.
take our server?
Yeah, people did. Not very many because I'm not going to be rude to the viewers and the listeners because we love you, but you guys suck.
They don't
Just kidding.
suck. There's just not a lot of them.
Hey, let's see how many there are. Let's see how many.
Vocal
Let's look at the
minority.
analytics. I wasn't going to bring up analytics until we got at least 1,000 downloads in 1 month, but I don't think that's going to happen.
This is not happening.
Okay, so in December we got 100 downloads. In January we got 99. We got 15 downloads on today? What? Why?
Did
We did. Let's see. Today we got 15 downloads. We're recording this on February 4th. What episodes did they download? We got 1 of each and 2 of episode 4.
Okay.
Oh, someone downloaded the first 2 episodes too.
So somebody started watching the podcast today.
Yeah, someone's tipping their toe in the water and testing it. Anyway,
That's good.
15 downloads in 1 day is good for us. Which I mean,
That's a good
kind
day.
of sad.
A
But
bad day, we get tomatoes thrown at our houses. Sometimes
it's actually kind of
pets,
surprising because
family members
people
are
find our
lynched.
houses. Like I don't even know how, but
It's not a great time. One time, houses were flooded.
mm-hmm.
It wasn't great. The one time I got a bomb in the mail.
Oh, I remember that. Why didn't we talk about that on the podcast?
Because I don't want to make them feel bad. I want to
Yeah,
keep
I
the
guess you're
viewers
right.
happy.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
I don't
We gotta-
I don't want the person that tried to kill me to feel guilty if they listen to the episode.
Absolutely not.
Dare I?
Okay, so the 3 top things for their favorite segments for the results is split between 3 votes for 60-second improv story,
Getting
which
out
we'll
of
be
it?
doing on this podcast episode, so that's good. Current news in a random country, which we haven't done at all. We'll do that next episode. Let's do that.
All right.
And when we break a story, such as Sun Valley. So,
Break them into a million little pieces.
yeah, these actually coincide pretty well to my favorite ones, too.
I forgot about news in a random country. That is
Yeah,
a
because we
really
did
good
it on
one.
episode 3, and that we haven't gone back. No, we did it on episode 2.
We need
yeah,
to bring it back. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Next episode we'll have yeah.
We're gonna
We'll do that.
do it from a country you don't know yet. It'll be a surprise.
It'll be the best, really. And then the 2 least favorite segments is Moby the Scoby, which
We're gonna
You know
do
what?
more of because
You know
we
what?
don't have any other ideas. We are
I
out
think-
of original ideas. Let us do Moby the Scoby more.
I think that it is a great segment and I love it, and I will do it for the one person out there who listens to our podcast who likes the segment.
Wait, was it there like 1 vote for Moby the Scoby as also like the favorite one?
Yes. Moby the Scoby has 2 votes for the favorite.
So it's a very
they have-
controversial.
Oh, it's so controversial. It's
Oh,
even.
snap.
It's a 50. There's 2 for the least favorite and 2 for favorite. So, boy, oh boy.
Oh, it's
also,
getting heated.
yeah, and then least favorite segment is the association game, which has also got 2 votes. Which, to be fair,
Garbage.
that's also my least favorite segment. It's boring and not very fun to play, and it's a nightmare to edit. So let's just never do that again. I mean, I'm okay with that. If we never have to play the association game again, I'll be fine. And then some others that people didn't really like is food reviews, which I don't know why. Why would you dislike that? Really?
How could you dislike hearing the audio of people eating
Yeah.
food and then talking about it?
Only briefly talking about it. As if we're special, but we're not. We're not important people at all, but we act like we are, and it's awesome. Anyway, and then also somebody didn't like the long story jokes, which, I mean, fair enough.
Hey! Where's that person? I'm gonna give him a high 5.
Oh, we could actually see who it was. No, we can't. I'm joking. Also, people didn't really like out of context that much. Segue, people don't like, which, to
Yeah.
be fair, Segue is underdeveloped. I feel like it will be good in the future. So
I believe almost all of those least favorite ones were ones that we came up with within 20 minutes of recording the episode.
yeah, actually, you're right. Out of context, not long story jokes though. That one, no. And then also the Adventures of Platier Van Doris. You know what? I don't care. We're doing that no matter what. I love that series.
We're
and
gonna gonna survey you, but then we're not gonna listen to anything you say. We're just gonna do whatever we want.
Well, no, we definitely will not be doing association game ever again. I don't know if we'll do out of context maybe later in the future. Food reviews is one that I find just hilarious, so we'll do that. Word of the day is interesting, but I don't think is a good segment because it's like really simple. And will you press the button is also one that was disliked. So
all right, well, we're gonna try to not do all of those that you didn't like, except for Platea Vandoris, because Noah has an emotional attachment to it.
Yes,
and now
I
he's
do.
Offended.
I am a weakling and very sensitive person.
And
so.
we'll do more of the ones you like
Yeah.
the improv ones, which are the most fun to do anyway. And News in a Random Country coming
that one's interesting.
next week.
Don't promise next week. Next episode, because I don't know when this is going to come out.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow there's going to be a new episode.
Oh, no. No, you can't do that to me.
You already promised. You signed the contract.
No, I didn't. I did not promise this. You have no proof.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
So, still follow-up is Garlicoin, which is we talked about this a few episodes back, and have you been following it, or have you just been?
In fact, the only follow-up I've had is people being like, "Hey, you did that one thing on the podcast about Garlicoin. Stop it."
Wow. Hello. That's stupid. Tell those people that they're wrong objectively, and it's not an opinion.
Objectively wrong.
They're objectively wrong.
My new favorite internet lingo. Just
objectively wrong. It's not even an internet lingo.
Not internet lingo, but new phrase that people with opinions like to use, which is objectively good, objectively bad. Just like literally, just substitute it in for directly what it's not, and then say it is, and be like, yeah, maybe it's an opinion, but I put that word objective in front of it, so now it's a fact.
So now it's a fact. Well, actually, there's some cases where I legitimately mean that, because there's some songs I don't really like rap that much. So there's some rap that I listen to. I'm like, this music is objectively good, but subjectively terrible.
You mean from like a critic's standpoint, it's well made. Yes.
Yes, it's well composed, and the assembly and all that is good, but I don't like it. So I say it's objectively good, but subjectively terrible. That's what I say about music I don't like.
That works.
And then there's country. It's objectively bad in every way, shape, or form. Just kidding.
You heard it here first. You are not allowed to like country. If you do, get off our podcast.
If you like country, just get out of here. Anyway, Garlicoin. So to your friends who are objectively wrong, so it has gone live. They've been dealing with airdrops, but what's really interesting is, on the subreddit, they're like, okay, everyone, here's the airdrop link. Click it, and then put in your username, and it'll redirect you to the Reddit verification, so it can double check to see if you were on the subreddit before. And so, what ended up happening was the airdrop for getting your 50 free Garlicoin, it crashed within 2 minutes.
Hey.
And then after that, they crashed the Reddit verification thing. So in order to verify your account, they crashed it.
Oh my goodness.
They crashed Reddit. We did it.
People
Reddit.
want their Garlicoin.
Yeah, they do. It peaked at $3 a piece. That's a lot for a cryptocurrency that's brand new. Here, I think it's like, last time I checked, it was Garlicoin. Here, Coin Market Cap. It's on Coin Market Cap. It's it dropped 3 cents since we were talking about it literally 30 minutes ago. So here,
it's a shame.
It's 769th as of now, as of February 4th. Still,
of like what, cryptocurrencies?
Yeah, of cryptocurrencies.
That sounds terrible.
It's actually pretty big considering that there's over 5,000.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's pretty good.
So, yeah,
Gosh,
Garlicoin,
I didn't realize how many
if you hadn't subscribed to the subreddit before, you can't get any, but you can start using it and start mining it. So, even if this doesn't go anywhere because it's a meme coin, I have learned a lot about...
It is a meme coin, let's be honest.
Yeah, it is a meme coin, but I have learned a lot about cryptocurrencies because of this, so I guess, that came out of it, right? It's live and it's kind of cool. It's also a meme, So
does
makes
that
me
mean I
happy.
get my free Garlicoin?
That if you go to the airdrop link, then you can put in your Reddit
Do you think
Reddit
it
username
works?
and your. Do you have a wallet set up?
No, I guess I don't.
Oh, well, you need to get your wallet set up. Segment 2. Moby the Scoby.
Everyone's favorite segment. Let's get
Yeah.
a round of applause, everybody. Give it up for the Scobesons, aka Moby the Scoby, aka The Adventures of Moby Dick, aka The Adventures of Mobius, the symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast. All right. I mean, first of all, how's he
Wait.
doing?
Wait, let me
What?
establish something. So, for those who are unaware of this because they're listening to just another episode, so basically, we have this Scoby, which is a thing. We explain it in episode 8, I think? Whatever, I'll link whatever episode it is in the show notes description. But basically, he has this thing, and a lot has happened since last time we did the segment. Like, you've been texting me because these things are so crazy. So, give us the lowdown. How's Moby doing?
Okay, Moby is... I'm not sure what he is anymore. I'm not sure if he's separate entities or he's one. But let's just say he's gone from a jar to the pie dish, the pie pan, and now he's in a gallon, like, I guess, bowl, basin. I want to say
Is that what that was in the picture that you
Yes.
sent me?
Wow.
Wow.
So it's about an inch wider in diameter than a pie pan.
Okay. Do you know what I hadn't realized until just now? Why aren't we putting pictures of it in the show notes?
Why not? We can start doing that.
Yeah, we'll start doing that. We'll post it on Patreon. We'll have weekly updates for Moby the Scoby on our Patreon feed. So if you support us on Patreon, then you can get exclusive first look pictures and a
Exciting.
written thing. And it will be written by Tendo. You're doing that now because I do everything else. Hey, you write 3 pages a day. You're fine. You're fine to write like 1 paragraph a week with some pictures of Moby the Scoby.
No one makes
So-
me do too much. I don't want to do a podcast anymore. Oh.
Okay.
No.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll start doing that on Patreon every Friday.
So another reason to give us money.
Give us your
also, start giving us money because I have plans for Moby that I think I'm gonna reveal now. Which are
Ooh.
he's in this gallon container, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And he was 3 different layers of Scoby, and I put him in there, and there is visible progress every single day.
Ooh.
I had this like theory that maybe as surface area increases of the Scoby, the growth exponentially grows.
Yeah, that makes
be-
sense.
Yeah, because just like mitosis, if each cell is doubling, it's gonna exponentially grow faster and faster. And I think that's what's happening. So they drifted to the bottom of the solution when I filled this gallon thing, which was a lot of sugar and a lot of tea. Thank goodness I stocked up on that around Christmas. But I'm guessing if it goes the way it is, I'm gonna run out soon. Probably within 2 more batches.
Snap. That's not
And
good.
they sunk to the bottom of the solution, which means that they're denser than the water.
Mhm.
But recently, they have floated to about a little above like the middle of the liquid, like the midline, I guess, of depth of the liquid, which
Huh.
means that the liquid is so thick with the what do you call it? The biofilm that is the Scoby. It is so dense that it is not that much less dense than the Scoby itself. You know how that makes
Wow.
sense? When something
Yeah.
floats, that means
Yeah, it's kind of like oil and water and stuff.
yeah, and there's these strings of yeast, which if you haven't seen a Scoby before, I recommend looking at pictures that grow.
We'll post
in this
pictures
environment.
in
Yeah,
the show
and they're
notes.
just all over in the water. It looks like this, I don't know, like a nebula kind of, like these just
Ooh.
little spider webs going everywhere. And a thick Scoby has grown on the surface of it. And
Whose name
it's-
is Kobe.
I don't know. I
How
think
many?
they're all
How
gonna
many
just,
are there now?
I'm pretty sure all of the three originals all morph together into one mass.
Oh, so
Um,
as we were going to call it was Moby, Moby Scope, no,
Mobius Scobius Prime or
Mobius Tobius Prime.
Mobius
That's what it
Tobius
was.
Prime.
Yeah,
Um,
I think so.
yeah.
Wow.
And so it's like just this. It looks like this kind of ocean of like organic flaps, just kind of spread
This-
across inside of
This
the liquid.
ocean of organic flaps.
I can't describe it. It's really
How about
strange.
How about this? For those who are driving in the car or something, which are none of you because you're all under the age of 12. Just kidding. Just kidding. For the listeners out there who are able to get access to the show notes, look at the pictures because that'll describe better than anything we could do on this podcast. But it's really interesting stuff.
Yeah,
and it's really cool.
basically from sugar, tea, and a little bit of vinegar, I have created this massive organism.
Yeah.
And actually, within the week, I'm hoping to I actually have someone who I'm getting a fish tank from.
Like a big old fish tank? Like a big
Yes.
rectangular one? Or oh
Yeah.
my gosh. He's going to be able to swim around in his own fish tank?
It's I'm a little afraid that maybe he's gonna get a little too big. But that again, the original goal was to make him as massive as possible.
Kiddie pool size.
Yeah.
World's
So-
largest Scoby. Let's find out. Well, it seems as though people aren't really posting about it.
That's because
Whoa!
nobody.
Nobody's
look
tried
it
to
up-
make a giant one.
Yeah.
Wow, this person had a giant one.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
A bunch of people I see what they do is they just have like a bunch of jars, and then they
Yeah.
put them all together.
Yeah, they get really thick, but the ones that I see on the internet, they're not really like big surface area, but they're really thick.
Yeah, because
Yours-
what they do is they just keep replacing them on top of the water.
Yeah.
And then they just
Yeah.
go thicker and thicker. Which I could do that, and then I could actually cook it as meat. But
What kind of nutritional value does it have?
well, it's technically like a probiotic.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't tell you.
Well, you can make kombucha out of it, which is pretty good for you. So,
Wow, yeah, there's a lot of people that made some massive scobies.
yeah. But we're going to have the biggest Scoby, and you
But
can
the
track our
reason they do
progress
is because
by supporting us on Patreon.
certainly, yeah, fund this addiction. The problem is these are ones that people have spent years using to make kombucha. Mine, on the other hand, are flimsy and light, and then I throw them into a new container. So how about this? I'm gonna keep it in this container for like a month or two, maybe.
What?
Before
the same
moving it-
container?
Yes.
But then it won't be able to grow.
No, because then it should be able to thicken.
Okay, so we're
Instead.
trying to get it thick, and then from there, we put it in something bigger, and then it'll probably exponentially grow in surface area.
You think so?
I
Either
don't
way.
know, potentially.
I've created a terrible monster that's going to not eat my family, but definitely my wallet, and hopefully yours if you support us.
Well, that has been Moby the Scoby, segment 2. Things are really looking up for Moby.
For Moby.
For Mobius Tobius Prime. I feel as though that he will be our downfall, but
Perhaps
We'll see.
he will-
support us on
grow
Patreon
up.
so we can keep this ambitious project going, and you can get projects for it or updates for it. Frankly, I think that if we just started a Kickstarter, I think people would support us on that. Like,
If you guys scream and yell more about how much you hate this segment, we're gonna make it its own separate podcast.
yeah,
And
we'll
we're gonna
make our
a
own
Kickstarter
podcast.
and a GoFundMe, and so that way you don't have to deal with it here. But now it's just gonna be a lot bigger than it was before.
Both literally and digitally. So
Yes.
it'll be a literal bigger Scoby than it will have ever been on this podcast. Segment 3. is a personal favorite because for multiple reasons. One, it's enjoyable for me to do. Two, it's enjoyable for you to listen to. And three, it has a special place in my heart because we did it on our last podcast too. And that is 60-second improv story, where we have 60 seconds to create a story, and our only prompt is we each give each other a person, a location, and a nonsense word, and we have to incorporate all three of those in a 60-second period, as well as create a story. A couple of my friends listened to the podcast, and I was like, hey, what's your favorite segment? And then they always say they really like 60-second improv story. So
I'm glad people enjoy them because we're not the greatest at improv, but I'm guessing it's at least entertaining to hear the creative juices.
So how about I start this time?
All right, okay.
All right. Let me write down this stuff. Where's my pen? Also, I just knocked down my harmonica. So, okay. Name is
Tekken.
Like the video game?
Tekken,
like the...
The name is Tekken.
Got it.
Any
Tekken.
questions?
How do you spell it? Just kidding. It doesn't matter. Tekken.
Spell
Got
it any way you please.
Okay. Location.
Is the NSA archives.
The what? NSA? What's the NSA? National Security Agency.
Yeah.
So the archives.
Security, definitely security. Yeah.
Okay. So what would they have in their archives?
They would store basically everything that's like you've ever done or happened before for your safety. Like if you have a webcam, they just got hours of video of that.
Good. I'm glad that they're
being a little hyperbolic for the sake of it being humorous.
I'm glad that they're keeping us safe. It's the thought that counts. Okay, so what's the nonsense word here?
Oh, this is a good one. I really like this one. Cackbabble.
Oh, I feel like I'm gonna mess that up in a very bad way.
Cackbabble. Just think. 2 Ks, 2 B sounds.
Oh, okay. Cackbabble. So it's like technobabble. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Technobabble's a really good word too. Anyway, would you like to start a 60-second timer for me?
Yeah. Actually, I'll ask Google too.
Okay, Google. Segmented podcast supported by Google, except it's not. Hey,
Google, give me a timer. Okay, there we go.
Okay, is it starting?
Ready. Wait, what do I say at 30 seconds? I'll just make a boop sound.
Okay, make sure it's loud enough so I can hear it.
I will.
Okay.
Ready?
Name, Tekken. Location, NSA archives. Nonsense word. Cackbabble.
Set, go.
Tekken, which is everyone's favorite fighter game, 2D platformer. It actually originated from the NSA to protect us from ourselves. And because we were so distracted beating each other up virtually, it kept crime down. So, Tekken, the video game, unfortunately has been discontinued, and all the original ones have been put into the NSA archives, which, under their code name, Cackbabble. No one will ever figure it out, but if you ever get the chance to find the NSA archives, looking for Tekken, code name, Cackbabble. 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 We know what you're doing, NSA. We know.
All right, cool.
That was probably one of my better ones. It wasn't really a narrative, but it was interesting.
It was very coherent.
Yeah.
There was like a lesson. You did have like 6 seconds to spare.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
think
right. What was great about that one is the fact that I wasn't panicking and rushing to get it done, but I still got it done, and I made a thing that wasn't incomplete. So I think that's really important. Also, your boop was perfect, and I will be doing that as well. Okay. So, do you have a pen and paper, or are you gonna write this down, or? Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. So, your name is Jimbo.
Jimbo.
Spelled like Jim with B-O at the end.
My name's Jim.
Location. In a meat refrigerator. Like one of the big ones. And your nonsense word is Jethoustic. Jethoustic.
Give me 1 second. Hold on. So let me get this straight. So Jimbo, meat refrigerator. What was the word?
Jethoustic. That's G-E-T.
I'm gonna spell it how to pronounce it, so I won't mess up.
Well, fair enough. Yeah, okay, got it.
Okay. So
Jathu stick. Your name is Jimbo. Your location, meat refrigerator. Nonsense word, Jathu stick. You have 60 seconds on the clock, starting now.
all right, so Jimbo is this famous hunter. He hunts like the rarest animals in the world. And so there's this one guy, his name is Krieger, and he's like, hey, I need you to get the rarest meat in the world so I can add it to my greatest meat collection I have ever. It's like this big vault where I freeze all the meats. And then Jimbo's like, all right, what is it? And he's like, it's this secret marsupial living in the underground of Australia. It's called a Jathu. And I got this idea. I want to take the Jathu and I want to stick it on a stick. I'm going to call it the Jathu stick. And I make a fortune. So Jimbo, he goes into Australia and they're like, yo, mate, what are you doing here? And he's like, how do you get underground? And they're like, hey, no tunnels underground. So he blows up a stick of dynamite and there's an army of Jathus everywhere. And he's firing. And then the queen steps out. And it's just this massive bug-looking kangaroo. And he shoots her right in the head. And he gets a helicopter and he flies it all the way back to the place. And they shove the whole thing in the fridge.
Done.
That's it.
That was awesome. I was like, wait a minute, did you just mess up the word of the Jathus? But no, I'm making a Jathu stick. To capture all the Jathus.
Jathu stick. Because the way I wrote it on my paper is JATHOO. STICK. So subconsciously, my brain's like, all right, I'm seeing the word kangaroo because I'm seeing OO at the end, and I'm seeing the word stick, and I'm seeing meat. So we're sticking some sort of meat on a stick, and it has to do with kangaroos. So instantly go to Australia.
I'm making a Jathu stick. When you said like he hunts rare animals, I was thinking Meeson right as soon as you said that. I was like, wait. Meeson. Oh,
that's what Jimbo normally hunts.
Yeah, and then he decided to go after something that sounds like it would definitely be in Star Wars. a Jathu. Segment 4, talk about, which is basically when we just talk about something. This differs from our random single topic discussion because the single topic discussion is just like one word, like pens, potatoes, pedunculuses. I was just trying to think of something with P, and I don't think pedunculus is anything.
Pedunculus. That's gonna be my next nonsense word.
that's a really good nonsense word, frankly. Anyway, so we're gonna talk about something. It's people watching your videos in your presence. Which, okay, for content creators out there, which specifically deal with videos, you can probably relate to this. For those who are not content creators but know people who make videos, then this could also apply to you. Or you can just get our input and see how we feel if you ever encountered someone who makes videos.
Well, right, but you can also put this akin to like people. I know it's a similar thing when people like if you make music, someone listening to your music. I wouldn't say it's the same as someone looking at your art.
Oh no, that's an entirely different thing.
That's different. But
and I know because I've made art like drawings and stuff, and I want to show people it.
The specific thing is like watching someone watch something that has like your voice in it, which makes it very personable. I know there's videos of mine that like I don't mind people watching over and over because they're just goofy. There's no indication that it's me, but when it's very obviously me and like my voice is there or I'm voicing opinions or something like that, I think that's something that you get that feeling.
Maybe it might be something like a social thing. Like maybe there's a subconscious judgment that you are worried that they'll like judge you for whatever is in your video.
Well,
that might be a thing. I don't feel like I feel that, but I might do now that I've thought of that.
Because when you put videos out on the internet, there's that anonymity that's like yes, this is, mine and it's very private because I put a lot of time and work into it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I'm anonymous, Nobody knows that I made this.
Nobody truly knows who I am.
But then you see someone just watching your videos and you're like, oh, now I'm having second thoughts. Now I'm kind of uncomfortable kind of thing.
Yeah. And it's interesting because first off, I'd like to note that if somebody is watching a YouTube video that I've made and put up on the YouTube and they're like watching it in front of me, I can't stand it. I have to leave the room. I cannot watch it with them.
Oh, people do that so much to me with.
Do they do it to annoy you specifically, or?
Yes, it's usually
Okay.
specific ones they're watching in order to
Okay.
embarrass me. So their
Right.
intention coincides
Yeah.
directly with my fear.
Yeah, that's definitely not what people try to do with me. It's just I cannot watch videos, like even the videos that I'm proud of, I can't necessarily watch because I find them, I don't know, I can watch them myself and I can send a link to them and they can watch it and I don't care. But if they're watching in my presence, it's something different and I have to leave and then come back after it's done and be like, "Hey, how'd you like my video?" And then usually they're like, "Oh, it was really good. I really liked it." And I'm like, "Oh, cool, thanks."
Yeah, because it's like their physical presence just makes you so much more critical.
Yeah.
And,
It's so weird and it's definitely a psychological thing, but yeah, so my suggestion to those out there is embrace it. I don't know what I meant by that, but like
well, I think a lot of it stems from like a little bit of a fear and like self-doubt.
yeah,
About your stuff not being good enough. So be confident in your stuff. Make
yeah,
stuff
be
that
confident in yourself.
you would want to show to. No, that's not what I want to say. I don't want to say make content you want other people to see. I say
Make content you want to make, and if people like it, that's good.
yes, and learn
But
to
be confident in what you make. Yeah, confidence is key, which is something that people say, but some people don't know that apparently.
Yes.
Have you never heard that term?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
It's really cliche. I don't know. I think everyone.
No, I had a friend the other day, and I told her confidence is key, and she was like, "What? What is that? Is that a?" I'm like, "That's a saying. People say that." She's like, "Oh, okay." So for those out there, don't quote me on confidence is key because I did not make that up. They're like, "Oh boy, that's such a good quote that Noah came up with. Boy, oh boy, I should use that more often." Anyway, yeah, confidence is key. If you create anything and you go in with confidence, people will like it more. I think that is definitely a thing. They might not. Like, even if there's a song that you've made and you're saying, "Hey, this is good," then people will like it more. I will still dislike it if it's country, because that's objectively bad. Just kidding. Just kidding. But yeah. But also, even with my more recent videos, I really like them. And people like them too. And I always get good feedback. But also, I don't believe they're all that in a bag of chips. Like, I'm proud of them and I want to show them to people. But I don't necessarily like it's weird because you feel confident and proud of what you make until it's tested, because then you're like, is it really that good? Like, because you're also biased because you put in the time and you know what you went through in order to make that.
Not only that, but you know every little thing that's wrong.
Yeah.
And when you watch that video, you're gonna see all those little things and you'll be like, oh, I could have done that, could have done this.
Yeah, but then there's some things that just come out exactly how it is. And it's perfect. So
I think the best videos are made at 5 a.m, posted at 8 a.m, with like little like second thoughts, and then not reflecting on them until a day later.
And then you're like, oh shoot, every time.
Oh,
it's interesting because it's a really subconscious thing, and I think it must be some sort of fear of not being accepted or anything, but
I can't explain it, but
yeah,
there's some
it's hard to
aspects of it that
explain,
make
but
sense.
you know the feeling. And I bet anybody out there who's listening who has ever made a video and had people watch it in their presence know what we're talking about.
Certainly.
So whenever you're watching someone's content, for those who watch content and have friends who do that, just be wary, because unless they're like, "Hey, let me show this to you. This is it, right in front of your face. Let me sit here and watch it with you." Unless they're like that, they probably don't want to watch it in your presence. But they do want you to watch it. Let's just establish that. I want people to watch my videos, and I want people to compliment me because I'm so great. You know how it is. Just kidding. But when things are good, it's important to compliment people on the things, because when things are bad, it's also important to point out what is bad about them.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah. We had a whole episode called The 2 Types of Criticism of our last podcast, and I will leave that in the show notes because I think that's a really good episode.
It's fine.
I think the conversation we had was really good.
Conversation was interesting. The lesson that you learned isn't anything new that you won't hear from anyone else who creates stuff, but
yeah, but it sometimes things just don't click until you hear it out loud. So I don't know. You can listen to that if you want. I will leave it in the show notes description and like skip to where we actually start talking about it. So
Indeed.
Indeedles. Segment 5. We're doing segment 5, self-promotion corner, 2 reasons, or a few reasons. 1, we didn't really have anything else to do. 2, we've been actually active on our YouTube channels, and we haven't mentioned them since episode 1. Hey, for you, posting 1 video in 6 months is active, comparatively. You posted 3 within a week of each other, so, relatively. Yeah. We hadn't mentioned our YouTube channels since episode 1, which was back in November of 2017. So we're going to talk about what we've been up to YouTube-wise. And for me, since starting the podcast, I think I've uploaded 2 videos? 2 videos and the podcast. Let me just double check. Yes, so I've made a video called When Fan Bases Die, which is a really good video in my opinion. I really like it. Real poetic and whatever. And symbolic. I'll leave that in the show notes. And one just called Toast. And those are both videos that kind of just experiment with things and aren't really trying to be it's not trying to say any statement except for When Fan Bases Die. That was. But yeah, those are some videos. If you want to go check them out, go ahead. There will be in the description show notes. Tell the people what you've been up to though.
Back in November, I had this idea that was like, I'm gonna post a video for every single day of the 12 days of Christmas. And I started straight to work. I wrote a list of all 12 videos I was gonna make, what days they were gonna come out, and what order I was gonna make them, from most difficult to make to least difficult to make. That way, if I was getting crunched towards the end, it wouldn't be that hard to pump out the last few. But it fell through because about 2 weeks before Christmas, things got super busy. Like I didn't have a minute to spare. So I basically just posted the 3 videos I'd gotten done in 3 weeks, each one on a Monday. And I was decently happy on each of them. They each represented one of the 3 different directions I wanted to take my channel. One of them being a satire, a parody, basically on mobile game ads. It was all right. I really liked the idea. I honestly really liked it. I thought there were some bits that were really funny. The script could have been thought through a little more. There's a lot of jokes that could have been made that weren't. Ones that could have been made a little more articulately, or expanding more. But the passion was there. It's fine. The other one was more of a commentary on something that I wouldn't say I had a lot of experience in. But something that I felt very, very strongly about, and I felt like it was something that
people need to hear.
I haven't discussed before, that I felt like other people needed to hear.
Can I make a note on that? His video is called Go Create a Thing, and it's basically him just playing a video game, and then, well, I'm assuming you recorded the footage and then dubbed over.
Yeah, I didn't do a live commentary because it didn't have to do with what I was playing.
Yeah, but it's called Go Create a Thing, and honestly, it inspired me to create more. It inspired me to go and work on my graphic design and make a video, and that's what really pushed me to make the When Fan Bases Die. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to make it because I have the opportunity right now. I have some free time. I'm going to go make a thing. So thank you for that. I didn't tell you that until just now, but it was pretty awesome. Inspiring. So you're welcome.
But yeah, I really enjoyed making something like that because I didn't create a script. I created an outline. And then I recorded myself for 14 or 15 minutes, basically just using the outline. And then I cut it down to 10 or 11 minutes.
10 minutes, 4 seconds.
Yeah.
To your channel.
It's as lazy as it sounds. I'm not a fan of multiple takes of something that's genuine. Call me lazy, but I think once you get onto the second take, you've forgotten the emotion you had attached to it. So I'd rather record a bunch of poorly said things and then cut it down than to record multiple times to get it perfect.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's why we only ever do one take of our podcast. That and because we literally don't have time to do more than
yeah, we don't.
We don't.
But then my third video was me designing a 3D character
Yeah.
for a certain animation that I wanted to make.
Mm-hmm.
The model looked terrible, but basically what happened was I got back from a standardized test that took
Oh,
4 or 5 hours,
wow.
and I got home and I was like, I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna spend 4 more hours 3D modeling. So I spent 4 hours modeling a character, and it wasn't perfected. It wasn't where I'd want a finished product. It in fact looks quite creepy in my opinion. But then I
It's
just
the eyes.
shortened it
The
all the way
the eyes
down.
are really what
The
gets me.
eyes,
The eyes.
for me, also the mouth.
Yeah, that too.
Uh, anyway, yeah. So I did that, basically just showing this is my process that I take. This is what I've done a lot, even though you don't know I'm doing, because the only time I make a video on 3D characters is when I animate them, which is a whole nother step. So usually they get through the process of getting finished modeling, and then they usually don't get past that because I've gotten bored with the project or I moved on to something else. And I had
Hmm.
been working on this character because of a kind of inspired by a school project that I was doing. Um, and so I developed this character that I really liked, and I was probably going to
Yeah.
model them anyway. So I did that because that was another direction I thought about taking my channel. So
Hmm.
I haven't really been active, but the next time I get a big chunk of free time, like I did at the time of these videos, I'm probably going to make more videos like these, and I might continue trying one of these three or maybe another format that I
Hmm.
enjoy and do it again. In fact, I'd probably be doing that right now if there wasn't another big project that I was working on in my free time.
Yeah, fair enough. In regards to the types of video, do you intend on making more video essays like the Freedom in Video Games, or was that something that you were like, not really?
That's a tricky question because when I made that video, it was with the intention that that was going to become my channel. The channel was
Hmm.
going to become video essays. The problem I had with that video was it took so much time to edit and put together the visuals that by the end I really disliked my thesis and the points that I made in the video.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
basically with those videos, with a lot of my YouTube videos, writing is the lowest priority. Writing is the first thing I do. It's the quickest thing I do, and it's rough and it's
yeah.
sketchy.
And
So
every
then when I
writer,
spend
every professional writer would say that is a bad decision because writing
right,
is
exactly,
important because
it's a
that's when
terrible
things
decision.
actually, yeah,
But the reason why I do that is because I know the visuals are gonna take months to do, and so
yeah.
with something like that, I'm so eager to just get those other things done that I don't really put importance on that, and so
Yeah.
usually I end up not liking it a lot at the end.
Hmm.
Um,
Honestly, I think video essays take a long time to make because there's also research that goes into it, there's writing that goes into it, and then also with what you're doing with animation. I mean, if you don't do more video essays, that makes sense, completely respectable. But I was just yeah.
another thing, big aspect was, the video didn't feel organic when it was finished. I really liked 3D animation and animation because I like the movement. I like making things that are goofy
Hmm.
and feel, I don't know, alive, I guess. Which is
Yeah.
why I moved from 3D animation besides just using 2D visuals. But the video was, despite having a script I didn't like, was very formatted and very slow. And though I'm really glad I tried it, I would do another video essay, but it would never be as formal as that one was. It would
Yeah.
have many more, maybe terrible attempts, but attempts at making jokes and, making a more abstract point than just being like, in video games, there's freedom. And sometimes that's bad because uh, people make gross things or offensive things. And so,
Hmm.
what do you think is better? I don't really
I
have
don't
an
know.
opinion.
Put it in the comments, please. Just I'm leaving. See ya.
Yeah.
Actually, I had a similar experience with video essay because when I did the significance of numbers video, which is a video that I kind of like.
Beautifully edited.
Yeah, it's beautifully edited, but I don't think the content was that great. Because I was trying a new thing, though. You know what? We've said multiple times on this show and the last one that you, like, when you create something, do it. Create it.
Absolutely.
Try to follow through. Because you will learn something.
I talked negatively about them, but I don't think any of us regret any of the videos we made. We like them because we learned something from them.
Yes. We have... There's so many failed projects that I've done and started and didn't complete, but I have learned so much just from doing small things. And from these little tiny blip videos that I'm making, like Toast and the microwave one and the When Fan Bases, I learned a lot about editing from that and getting rhythm and timing down, which is something that you need, is detrimental to being an editor, which I don't know. I feel like I have a fairly good sense, but I can get better and I will get better. But
right.
Yeah, we've said multiple times, do it. If you are someone who wants to create something, create it and you will learn something. And also, something related to that, don't be afraid to fail. Just do it.
Now, think later.
Yeah, well, you should also put intention into what you're making. You shouldn't just like throw a bunch of stuff together. But if something doesn't turn out perfectly with how you thought, who cares? You should continue to make it. You shouldn't try to be a perfectionist when trying something new because it won't be perfect. I've been recently going to college for there's like a high school program and whatever, and I'm taking this 3D design class, and we had to make a tower. So I thought this idea. I was like, okay, I'll build up sticks like this, and I'll build a frame like this. I built the frame, realized, wow, this is not going to be tall enough. I flipped the frame onto like its corner to make like a diamond shape, and then I built supports on that, and then I made it taller, and it's the most ridiculous tower you'll ever see, but it stands up. And the thing is, I ditched my old plan, and I started a new one, and I just kept going. Because with creativity, you really just have to go for it. And a lot of projects are fun when there's projects that are fun when you know what you want and what can happen and what has to happen in order to do that. But it's also really fun when you know how you want to start something and you kind of have a way to express it, but you don't know what the end result is. And I think that both of those are equally as important to learn how to do and learn to create with. And if you're a creative person listening to this, you probably know how it is. So, yeah, creativity and art is just probably one of the most amazing things about being human. I'm just going to say that now. Sorry, I didn't really give you any time to talk.
Summary of Nomich and Tendo Boy podcast. Go be creative. Haha, we're yelling, and I don't know if I really like popular movies because they're like objectively entertaining, but on the other hand, they're not really made that well.
They're objectively bad.
Yeah, that's whatever I meant. Oh yeah, I forgot that. Also, everything is objectively good or bad. Opinions don't exist on the podcast.
No, opinions are just construct. I mean, that's an opinion, but they don't.
We know what's objectively good and bad.
The segmented podcast, we know what's objectively good and bad.
Gosh, sometimes I listen back and we sound so pretentious.
That's because we are pretentious. But also, we have passion, so that's why it feels that way.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. We step away from it and we're like, do we really think those things? I mean, probably not. It's a little more thought out and unsure. But in the podcast, we're just like, yeah, the moon landing was a hoax. That's right, guys.
It's objectively false.
It's objectively false.
The moon landing is objectively bad. That's the name of this episode. It's going to be objectively bad.
This is the objectively bad episode.
Oh, that's objectively bad for advertising. Calling your episode
the objectively bad episode.
Yeah. Oh boy. Anyway, this self-promotion corner kind of spiraled out of control, but I think it's fine. It's still under an hour, so
that's what happens anytime we talk about our own channels.
Yeah, whenever we talk about art and creativity, we always try to be inspiring, and I think, and I hope it has inspired at least one person to go create something, because you inspired me to create something, and so
Ooh.
now I want to inspire other people. We kind of just summarized everything you said in that video, but you should still go watch it. I will link all 5 of our newest videos in the description show notes because we're proud of them and want you to watch them. But don't you freaking dare watch them in our presence. We will hate you forever if you do that.
That's true.
Because that's an objectively bad thing to do. Okay, also support us on Patreon. That's part of self-promotion. Link in the show notes. So, Tendo, on that note, take us out.
Okay, so this is so dumb. I can't even say. You come back from the theater from your new favorite film that you just watched that you paid for entirely in Garlicoin. You come home, you ask, Alexa, check on your Scoby, see how it's doing. A little hologram pops up in front of you. Scoby's all right. And then, sure enough, you go on your phone because you want to check the reviews on that new movie you just saw. And you go to Rotten Tomatoes, and there's just in the place of where there's normally a percentage, there's just big bold words that just say objectively
bad.
And now anytime you go on a YouTube video where somebody's talking about the movie, the comments are just filled with people talking about how it's objectively bad.
How it's objectively bad and subjectively good.
Oh man. That's my new
I think this episode is objectively great. There's no opinions about it. It's a fact that this episode is great objectively.
Not that funny. Do the numbers.
1,
2,
3.
Trace.
No, I just said 3. Trace is 3 in Spanish.
I was trying to think of the German, the number 4. Okay, let's start over.
Okay, 1.